Okay, so it was the night before Thanksgiving, and all through the class, we are studying Go programming, and we're going to look at cookies and how to do cookies in Go, and that's like one of the steps towards figuring out web programming. So if I go to godoc.org net http and look for cookie, I can see that I have type cookie right here, and I also have set cookie. And set cookie takes a response writer and a pointer to a cookie. Okay, pointer to a cookie. You see that? Everybody look up. You're not looking up. Pointer to a cookie. Set cookie takes a response writer and a pointer to a cookie. And then we have type cookie right here. What is a type cookie? It's a struct. It's got fields, name and value. So you're just going to give the cookie a name, and then you're going to give it a value. They're just fields in a struct. And this value, both those have to be a string. And you could take a bunch of values and put them together in the string and separate them by some delimiter like a pipe or a comma or whatever works for you. And then later you could parse that when you pull it back out if you want to store a bunch of different pieces of data in the cookie. Or you could store it in the value in there in different ways. Okay, but the main thing is two strings, name, value. And then we could set max age. And max age less than 0 means delete this cookie now. Right? 0 or less than 0. Basically less than 0, delete the cookie. And greater than 0 is how long the cookie will live in seconds before it disappears. And expires is deprecated, passing in a time. So now let's just use max age and give it seconds. Secure means that you can only access this cookie. So cookies are domain specific. So a browser at a certain or a server at a certain domain writes a cookie to a browser. Only that domain will be able to get that cookie. That's the theory. Generally pretty good. So if Coke writes a cookie, Pepsi can't read that cookie. Right? Only Coke could read the cookie. Only the domain that wrote the cookie gets to read the cookie. So browsers are built to send cookies back to the domain which wrote it, domain in which it came from, right? So if Coke writes a cookie and you decide to go back to Coke as a client, as a user, and if there's a Coke cookie on your browser's storage, right, it'll serve that Coke cookie, or it'll pass that Coke cookie back to the server. Okay, and secure means it'll only do it if it's HTTPS. So if you set that field to true, your cookie won't get sent unless it's secure. Okay? And HTTP only means you can't access the cookie with JavaScript. All right? So that's kind of how cookies work. So let's see. We have set cookies. See if there's any other fields up here. And then on the request, here on the request, we could say call the method. If we have a pointer to request, we could use cookie, give it the name of the cookie, gives us back a cookie and an error. Okay? So let's play with that. And to do that, I'm just going to go into our little class folder for today. And if you're wondering where this code base is, because you are online, we are in this GitHub repo, goes to 11, that username. The repo is golang web dev, and we are going to be in 00temp and 44 class. I'm going to create a new directory here, 02 cookie, and then inside there, create a new file, main, and then get rid of that, main. And main. And now I'm going to do all the setup. Cool. So we want to do a cookie. So with our request, we could ask for a cookie. All right, that's one of the things that we saw. And we saw that right here. So when we have a pointer to request, we have the method cookie. It takes a string and gives us back a pointer to a cookie and an error. So the string I'm going to give it is the name of the cookie. Maybe we want to call our cookie session. Right? Like there's the cookie session. So we're going to see if that cookie's there. It gives us back a pointer to a cookie and an error. So we want to check the error. And if error is not nil, what do we want to do? Let's create a cookie. If there isn't a cookie, let's create one. So how do we create a cookie? C is equal to, and we're dealing with a pointer to a cookie, so just give me the address, HB cookie. And now we have fields here, name, whoops, and it's going to be session. So now we're just going to create a cookie. And value, McLeod's Go class. So we created a cookie. Are you guys typing this at the same time?
Yeah.
Typing at the same time. All right, so now we have our cookie. We want to set our cookie, so we can go back and look at the documentation. And we can see how do we set a cookie. Go up to the index. And set cookie takes a response writer and a cookie. Okay, so set cookie, response writer, pointer to a cookie. And so here we just created this cookie. So now hb.set cookie, response writer, and that cookie. Cool. And then we could just, I don't know what else we want to do with the cookie. Let me think about that for a second. If we want to see its value. And so we could do
Don't you want to put the set cookie outside your error?
No, because here maybe I'll move it,
Oh,
but
never mind.
you know, if my cookie's there, if it's my cookie is here, then I'll just have my C right there. And if there's an error, that means the cookie was not there.
Yeah.
And so then it's going to create a cookie and set the cookie, right? But either way, at this point in my code right there, I have a cookie C with a value in it. And so I could do, now I could just do io.writeString and pass in a writer and then pass in some string. And I could do C value, right? And now print out my cookie value. Or a cookie, pointer to a cookie, if we look at the documentation, has this method, string, right? So we could do cookie string and it'll turn everything into a string. And let's see what that does, C string. Okay, so write string takes a writer and a string, so we just gave it a string. And then I'm going to change my cookie. And so I'll just add a bar, foo bar, and copy that, and then call it bar. And I'll ask for a cookie. And if the cookie's not there, I'm going to redirect because I don't want to duplicate that code. So I'll just do redirect. And one way I could do a redirect is HTTP redirect, right? And response writer request, location, and status code. So what status code do I want to use here? Do I want to use move permanently, see other, or temporary redirect? 301, 303, or 307?
What did you want to do though?
It's just I'm redirecting.
So temporary redirect then?
Well, that'd be okay, because I'm only going to be hitting this with a get, so temporary redirect uses the method. But I think it's more clear to see other, which is always get.
Hold a second.
Okay. So let's see this run now. And session, McLeod's go to class. If I open this up and I look under application and look under here, I can see there's my cookie. It's named session and McLeod's go class, right? If I go to bar, session, what to say, right? And if I go back to foo, it's still session what to say because I didn't have to create the cookie there. Isn't that awesome? So that's how we the first step in creating cookies.